So hey Ryan, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of New Amsterdam. So thank you so much for everything you guys do on this show. It's like one of the best shows out there, especially not just for the stories, but the diversity and inclusion it brings in. But this episode, you guys really tapped in. Like the first few minutes itself was so heartbreaking. With the realities that we live in. So how was it for you to come back on the show in this age and time and bring the realities of things that we're living in? How was it getting into that zone and bringing it to us?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. It's so nice to speak with you. And you know, it was strange coming back and sort of, you know, we had all been living this pandemic for months and months and months. We'd all been isolated and not going out and quarantining, doing everything that everybody else was doing, and we hadn't been shooting. Obviously, we shut down towards the end of season two, and so it was kind of weird to come back. When you're doing a series, you work a lot, so you stay kind of in the zone, but then to break for, I'm not sure how many months it was. I mean, at least half a year,
Right.
longer. um and then just come back to set, to go from that kind of isolation of not seeing anybody, or just whoever's at home or your family, and then coming back to set with tons of people and remembering who's this character and what are we doing. I imagine it's sort of a bit what the characters themselves are dealing with in terms of just feeling a little out of sorts and
Right.
been through the ringer.
Well, that, yeah, I guess that brings the reality a little bit because we are all experiencing it. So maybe makes it a little easy. But did you further research for the character? Because I mean, you've played this character for a while now, so of course you know it. But now this is completely changed. It's not like anything anybody has lived, right? Even doctors. I talked to my friends who have first responder and doctors, and this is unprecedented. So how did you prepare for this season? Because it's and I can see when you're making those calls to other people, I can see that you're getting it. So how did you prepare for that?
Yeah, we the writers have a lot to work with everything that's happening, and incorporating that and trying to reflect the work of the real healthcare workers and the difficulties people have been facing and the challenges of this pandemic, particularly the system being so overwhelmed at first and just caught off guard and not really prepared for this. So I think that was a lot of our work, was trying to find that place where the characters are a little off balance, and because Max is always a little slammed, a little overwhelmed, a little sort of taking on too much and too much on his plate at one time and all that, but this was something different. And so it was finding that place of exhaustion combined with that fortitude, that desire to work through it and press forward. And I think you get some really human moments in that place when you're really burned out, but you have to keep going because it's important, because people's lives depend on it. So in terms of the story.
Right, right, which this show does beautifully, anyways. So one thing, I mean, this you've been working for a while, and you're an experienced, a talented actor, but this show has been great, right, on network and leading. Can you talk a little bit about that, the life of being an actor, especially during these times? Because I feel there's a newfound respect, I hope, for our art form, because usually people don't put as much value on artists. But what I'm trying to say is like the art and entertainment has kept people sane in this
Mm.
during a year, right? Whereas I hope that people remember how important it is what we do, what you do. So how has being on this show been for you, and how has what role this has played for you during pandemic, art and entertainment, and what do you want to say to people who want to be in this business?
Mm-mm. Well, I think, you mentioned staying sane, art keeping people sane and stuff. I certainly, having a job to go back to is something that has kept me sane, and a family of people that I work with, our crew and our writers, our producers, our cast, and having this home to come back to has certainly given me focus and a community and all those things, which are so important right now. And I know that having a job is a huge blessing, especially right now. It's really, really hard for a lot of people, and so I'm really grateful for that. And I hope that people are getting relief. And I hope that as this pandemic eases, as I feel it is, and I hope it continues to with the vaccine, that people can get back to work and stay on their feet, because that's important. It's been really important for me. And yeah, I think at its height, shows or films can be a reflection of who we are and what's happening. And I just watched Nomadland the other night, and it was an incredible story and really well acted and beautiful, and just kind of spoke to that hardship that people are going through right now in terms of employment and just keeping up with the cost of living. And so yeah. So in terms of this show, it's been nice to reflect the healthcare workers, the real heroes who are on the front lines doing this work, and try to get into their headspace and try to be a part of telling that story that we've all been experiencing in some way or another, whether we know somebody who had it, or we had it, or our friend is a nurse, or our, whatever it may be, or you're an actual, or you're a doctor yourself. It's been nice to be a part of that story.
Right, right. Amazing. You guys do a great job, and this first two episodes really, really, I mean, with everything, really hit the spot. I mean, with everything that you guys showed, I don't want to spoil everything, but it was amazing to watch the story, the challenges, the phone calls you're making, and everything. And seeing Dr. Kapoor was one of my favorite characters, like my uncle. So that angle is really good too. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing, Ryan. All the best, and looking forward to many, many more seasons of New Amsterdam.
Thank you, Art. I really appreciate that. Hope we can talk again soon.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care.